Why, hello everyone. How is everyone doing? My name's Lewis Mabee, Global Psychic Medium Intuitive, and I am welcoming you to this new live that I'm doing on the Clairs. And I can't wait to dive into this. So, who do we have on? Say hello to me. I'd love to see who I'm talking to, who's coming around, who's going on, what's new, what's exciting. I think my chat's working. There's Mary Ann. Hello, Mary Ann. Great to see you as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. I always appreciate your support. Who else is out there? I hope that I'm streaming good. It says I'm streaming from everywhere, so maybe everyone's just kind of late to the party. But anyway. Well, Marianne, we'll just start off with you and I. How's that? That sounds like great, huh? So I'm just going to take a boot to see if it is being streamed into my Facebook. The wonders of technology. It's always great when it works. Yeah, I can see it's being streamed live. That's awesome. Love that. All right. Well, oh, there's 6 all of a sudden. There's Trish. There's Dana. How are you? I need to talk to you later, Dana. Just an FYI. Heads up. There's Mariella. There's Miguel. Fernanda and Kathleen saying hi. Happy Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. How is everyone? So today we're talking about the Clairs. Living the dream. Of course you are, Dana. I love it when you're living the dream, especially when it's this kind of weather out there. Although my allergies. Oh, hello, Cleo. Of course you won't say hi. My allergies have been kicking my butt, and my allergies always rest in my eyes, so it always looks like I'm exhausted. Well, I'm actually exhausted today, but that's a whole different story. Anyway, let's get into this with the Clairs. So welcome to another episode of the Psychic Spectrum. I'm morphing it into this kind of spectrum of things. Hello, Donnie Glidis. How are you? Where we journey into the mystical realms of psychic abilities. Today, we're diving into the world of the Clairs, those incredible, intuitive superpowers that can turn the ordinary into extraordinary. Have you ever had a gut feeling that turned out to be spot on? Or maybe you've sensed someone's emotions without them saying a word? These are just glimpses of what the Clairs can do. We're talking about the clairvoyance, the clairaudience, the clairsentience, and their equally fascinating counterparts. We are going to explore each of these psychic senses as well as uncover how you can recognize if you possess these gifts and abilities, share tips on how to develop them, and even hear some jaw-dropping stories of clairvoyant visions and clairsentient sensations. Whether you're a seasoned psychic or just curious about your intuitive potential, this episode promises to enlighten, engage, and yes, a little bit magical. So get comfortable, open your mind, and let's uncover the secrets of the Clairs together. I'm going to just say some more hellos as I see more people coming in. Hello, Tammy, and hello, Tammy's. Tammy Benson and Tammy McNamara. How is everyone doing? So Cleo's just shedding all over me. So I'm going to start off with one of the obvious ones, the ones that most people have heard about, and that's clairvoyance. And clairvoyance is clear seeing, the ability to see images, visions, or symbols in the mind's eye that conveys information about a person, place, or event. Oh, and if you think that you have this ability, gift, put a comment after I read after the indicators. Just do a hands up, do an emoji, do a me, whatever. I love to hear what people are identifying as. There's Debbie. Shivers, how are you, Debbie? Good to see you. Thanks for popping on. So the clairvoyance indicators are you often have vivid dreams, see flashes of light, colors, shapes, or even full senses that provide insight into situations. So a lot of people feel like they're gifted with the clairvoyance side of things, and that's kind of like your spidey senses. That's what I call them. Is your spidey senses are going off. They're, you're getting these images, these pops and flashes of things in the mind's eye, and yet you really don't know specifically why they're popping in, but they're just popping in all of a sudden. Some people even call it. Um, I wish I could tell you what they called it, because it just went from here to out, and then not even where in gut reactions, that sort of thing. So yeah. So anyone identify with having clairvoyance? Let me see some comments on that. So the next other popular ones, we'll do the top three, and then we'll get into more of the things that aren't maybe as commonly known, but also hold a very huge impact as well. And the next one is clairaudience, and that's the sense of clear hearing. And this is the ability to hear sounds, words, or music that are not audible to others. This can be internal, like in your mind, or external, as if someone is speaking next to you. Some of the indicators around if you're a clairaudience is you hear your name being called when no one's around, experiencing ringing in your ears, or hearing voices or sounds that provide guidance. You might also be particularly sensitive to sound frequencies. I can imagine a few of you are like this, and it's Debbie says yes to the clairvoyance, and Tammy says yes to the clairvoyance. What about the clairaudience, who can hear things without it actually being in a physical audible sound? Cleo's hair's all over my papers. She's shedding like crazy. So the next third one is also a top one that a lot of people experience, and that's clairsentience. And Mariella says that she hears things. Yes, that is for sure you do. So clairsentience is the art of clear feeling. So this is the ability to sense and feel emotions and energies intuitively. This includes physical sensations such as tingling, warmth, or pressure. Some of the indicators for this is you often sense the emotions of moods of others without them even speaking, or feel the physical sensations related to other people's experience, or get the gut feeling about situations that turn out to be accurate. It's kind of like when someone's describing, just for one example, someone was describing their surgery procedure to you, and all of a sudden you start feeling the pain where they had their surgery, but you're feeling the pain on your body. That's one thing that a clairsentient will be able to pick up. Tammy says, I don't think so, but plenty of ringing ears. So the ringing of the ears, Tammy, with the clairaudience is very much about like tune in, watch out for, heads up, that sort of thing. And also it's to show you that you're not really ever alone. Like there you are connected to the other side. So, but with the clear feeling, the clairsentient, this is probably what people can pick up, and this is for the guys in the room right now. It's like when someone is talking about getting hit, where, and all the guys go, oh, I feel that, I felt that. That could be a tune of clairsentient. Kathleen says clairsentient, that's the last. Yes, Kathleen. Yes, I love it. Now we're going to get into a little bit of the ones that, hey, Judy, thanks for tuning in. Now we're going to get into a little bit of lesser known ones, but I still feel like it's very important for everyone to be able to tap into it and understand the meaning. So the next one that I wanted to bring up is the claircognizance, and that stands for clear knowing, and this is the ability to know information spontaneously without logical reasoning. It's an inner knowing or gut feeling that is intimate or undeniable. And so the indicators for claircognizance is you often have sudden insights of ideas that prove to be correct, know things without being told, or have strong intuition hunches that guide your decisions. And a lot of times when people are working with the ability of claircognizance, they're really working with a spirit guide. Spirit guides often throw messages through the clear knowing at people to help them navigate some tricky situations, perhaps, or to just avoid certain things that aren't aligned with what you should be doing. So a lot of times, again, the claircognizance, you're working really with your spirit guides. So I like that. Marianne says that she has clear knowing. Debbie asks a question: is this the same as blood memory? No. Blood memory is something we'll talk about in a minute, but it's kind of like in there, but it's not really geared towards the blood memory. So hang in there. Clair aliens. That's the thing of clear smelling, and this is the ability to smell odors that have no physical source. These smells often convey messages or bring back memories. Some of the indicators with clair aliens is you smell scents that no others do not, such as perfume, smoke, or flowers, especially in meaningful context or when thinking about a certain person or event. I often use this in my readings with people, especially connecting to, in my medium work, connecting to spirits, because if a spirit wants to convey like a certain kind of perfume or a certain scent that they use just to say, hey, this is me, then I will sometimes be able to pick up the smell of what they're trying to provide, and I can explain it to the person that I'm reading with, and they're like, oh yeah, that's my mom or whomever. And as well, I've also used this ability when I was working with the police on some secretive work of finding people. And I was able to source out some victims of homicides with some of the ability with using the clair aliens. So it's a very powerful thing, and it stands out. It's not a subtle thing. Like, it's like, oh my gosh, I smell roses all of a sudden, and there's not a rose in the room or in your vicinity. And so it's one of those things where it's not, you're not going to miss it. It stands out predominantly. So yeah. The next one is Claire Goosens. This is the art of clear tasting, and this is the ability to taste substances without putting anything in the mouth. This taste can convey information or bring up specific associations. Some of the indicators that you can have with this is you're experiencing strong taste in your mouth out of nowhere, particularly when thinking about certain people or situations or during a psychic reading. And I also use this as well with readings. Oftentimes, when I'm tapped into my mediumship, and I'm like, all of a sudden, I taste pizza. Like I can't get pizza out of my mouth. All I can taste is pizza. And the person will be like, oh my God, that's he or she loved pizza and would eat it like twice a week. And so it really is a binder of how to get the information together so that the person I'm reading for knows exactly who I'm tapping into. So, um, and that's actually kind of annoying too, because one time I was doing a reading with with someone in England through Zoom, and I'm like, and I can identify with this only because I've tried it once before and would never try it again. Marmite. If anyone, I know this is a debate over in England and in Australia, but I can't stand Marmite. And all of a sudden, I had the same taste of Marmite in my mouth, and the woman I was reading for, she's like, "Oh yeah, that's Granny, because Granny would put Marmite on her toast every morning." I'm like, "Ooh," like, okay, hurry up so I can get this taste out of my mouth. So it's a blessing, and sometimes it's not. So anyway, um, the next one, and I know I'm kind of going through this quick, so if you have any questions about these so far, please type your questions in. Also, don't forget, I'd like to know who in the chat can experience any of the ones that we are covering so far. So the other one that actually, and this is certain people like Edward Gacy has Casey has made this kind of, yeah, Casey has made this famous, and this is the the clear tangency, and that's clear touching. So it's also known as psychometry. This is the ability to obtain information about an object or person by touching or holding an item associated with them. Um, and this is something that fewer have the ability with, but at the same time, when it is connected, even if it is just for a short while or a flash or whatever, it can be very powerful when it comes to picking up different energies, different ownerships of people's items. I know oftentimes that people will bring in pictures, or they'll bring in a ring, or some sort of like personal belonging to someone that's passed away, and they want me to tap into that. I can, but I don't need it to hold on to something to be able to find the source of who that possession belonged to at one time, because I'm able to just go right to, like, it's kind of like when I do my mediumship work, it's kind of like um, someone raising their hand, and all of a sudden I can just tune into that energy that just rose their hand, and it's like, oh, okay, I want to talk about you, and even in when I was doing large groups, I remember I was doing an engagement in front of 200 people, and I was up at the front, and people were like wanting to ask questions, but I was really pulled to like one side of the room, and so I went over to that side and I started to like scan, and I was like, who had the so and so that's passed away. Some people would raise their hand. I'm like, okay, no, not you, not you, not you. But then I would find the person and I would be able to tell them the message. So it's that ability, even though I wasn't holding on to something, but it is that ability to be able to focus on being able to uh, look for things. Hi, Red Rover. Thanks for coming in again. Judy also says, years ago, my family and I were playing cards, and we could smell coffee brewing and smells of cigarette smoke. No one drank coffee or that at that time or smoked. So absolutely, someone was there watching you, Judy, and they were wanting to play the card game with you. So, so yeah. Um, The next one is all about uh, uh, clairtaction, and that's the sense of clear touching. It's the ability to sense or feel subtle energies or physical sensations that are not physically present. So it's not like you're holding on to something like clairtingency. It's more so about the feeling of like it feels like a watch or it feels like this. You might the indicators for this is you might feel pressure, tingling, or other physical sensations without a physical source. It's often corresponding to spiritual or energetic activity. And so, hello, Angela. Good afternoon from NZ, right? Um, so with that non-physical source, but yet you're feeling like a pressure, like sometimes people say, "Oh, I just felt like someone like brushed the nape of my neck or something like that," and no one's there. That's what that's all about. So, and even oftentimes, even though this is not necessarily a feeling of a pressure thing, but it's also like looking out of the corner of your eye to feel like because you thought you saw something. That also kind of falls into that as well. So, um, clairambiance. That's the sense. That's the clearing sense, sensing through the environment. I got that right. Yes. So this is the ability to sense the atmosphere or energy of a place, which can provide information about past events or the presence of spiritual entities. Um, some of the indicators for that is you feel emotions, energies, or even hear sounds tied to specific locations. You might experience these sensations when entering certain buildings or spaces. That happens to me all the time. I'll walk into a place and I'll be like, "Ooh, this does not feel good," or the opposite, where it's like, "Oh my gosh, this is so homey. This is so warm and so lovely." So, um, that's a like to me when it's comes across as, "Ooh, this is not a good thing." That's when I really make sure that as if I still need to enter that space, I ramp up my protection. I make sure that I have force fields and shields and whatever else I can conjure up to make sure that I'm well protected, because I always listen to the niggle. I always listen to what I'm being, what I feel, what I sense, because it's never steered me wrong yet. And so this is something with that if you walk into a space that doesn't feel good, enter with caution. So, um, and other times though, it's kind of like, "Hey, come on in, put your feet up on the coffee table, make yourself at home. Can I get you a drink?" That sort of thing. So it's it can work both ways, but definitely for sure when you're walking in, when you're walking into a space and you get the heebie-jeebies, please pay attention to that heebie-jeebies. So, Dawn says that last week in Montreal, I had a spirit walk through me and had that chill as if someone walked over my grave. Oh yeah, that in itself is like freaky, because you definitely have that change of temperature, and you also have that split second of void. Like all of a sudden it's kind of like I I'm not, like I wasn't connected to my own body, but it's only for a split second. So it's kind of like, oh, and then sometimes people feel queasy, sometimes they get a headache, and have different reactions of not feeling well after a spirit walks through you. They don't necessarily always do it on purpose, but you're in their way. And they kind of warned you, but sometimes we just can't hear them. So there's also the next one is all about claircognition. That is the variation of claircognizance. It emphasizes clear thought processes and the ability to solve complex problems through intuitive insight. Some of the indicators about this one is, and this one's like a little bit of a fascinating one. You find yourself having sudden or clear insights during problem solving or decision making processes, which often prove to be highly accurate. So it's kind of like, where am I going to find this? Like, how am I going to come up with money or this or a reason, or how do I land this new job, or whatever the case may be? And all of a sudden, and you're caught in the confusion, you're caught in the clutter, and then all of a sudden it's like, boom, do this. And when you trust yourself and act on that, then you oftentimes will hit a home run because you listen to yourself. So that's really, but I think a lot of people are afraid of that because it's like, where'd that come from? It may not make sense to you. And because we oftentimes don't trust ourselves, we tend to back away from the clarity around a situation that has bogged us down for such a long time. So it to me, this one is very much about getting out of your head, getting into your heart, because that's where source lives. And when you're connected to the source, your solutions will always be available to you. Maybe not when you want them, but they'll always become available to you. So Dawn said about having a spirit walk through her. It was a shutter. It belonged to a friend's sister. Oh yeah, cool. There's also clairgustation, and just kind of like what it sounds, it's all about clear tasting. So this is similar to clairgustance, but it specifically relates to experiencing tastes that convey information. You might notice specific taste in your mouth, particularly during psychic readings, or when thinking about certain people or events. So this one is not, like I said, this one is not necessarily a more obvious one that many people work with, but it is something around being able, and again, especially in a reading, being able to bring something in, like Dawn just said, blood in the mouth when someone passes an accident. That's a perfect example. So this is something. Hey Tracy, thanks for joining me. This is something where it's like, it's not a physical taste, it's more so about, because it's being channeled through someone else to you. And so that's when your spidey senses kick in, and you're connecting to another energy, and that energy wants you to experience whatever it's going through at that time. So it's not as common, but it does happen, and it's very much unexplainable for the most part. And most times you don't find out about it until after fact. Hi, Janet. How are you? Thanks for joining us tonight. So I think I've had that happen maybe once or twice before, like personally, once or twice before. One time was with my grandfather. That was, he was rushed to the hospital, and I was starting to taste like saline, but I didn't know he was rushed to the hospital. But I started to taste like this saline solution, and I'm like, oh, that's really odd, because I'm not necessarily salty person, and I didn't eat or drink anything before this taste. And then I don't even know how, I don't know if it was a phone call that we got or something, but then we found out that my grandfather was rushed to the hospital and he was going into surgery. So that was where the taste of saline was coming in, because they needed to put him out, and they needed to hydrate him, and So yeah. The next one is claro. This is kind of like a hard one for me. Clarifaction, and this is clear smelling. This is another term for clairalience, but it highlights the ability to smell scents that are not physically present, but convey psychic information. Again, there's a message in the smell. Some of the indicators are you detect distinctive smells such as flower, smoke, or perfume, like before, but others don't perceive them. But it's often linked to a spiritual presence or a spiritual memory. So, hey, Kathy, welcome and thanks for joining us on YouTube. Yay! So this one is very much about having the connection, but it's not through necessarily a person. It's more so about a spiritual factor, like a spirit guide wants to tap into you, but show you part of their life or their last life or one of their lives that they actually had on Earth before. And that's sometimes what when people do meditation about past life regressing, that's when this form of clear smelling often comes into play, because they want to tap into their spirit guides and they want to find out who they are and what they did and all that sort of thing. So that's when they will give you highlights or glimpses of what their life was like, or what they want you to know about their life, that's specific, that can help you in your present day life. So there's also clear intellect, and that's clear understanding. And this is the ability to understand complex spiritual concepts or messages without prior knowledge or logical reasoning. Some of these indicators are all about the grasp of the intricate spiritual or philosophical ideas intuitively. And it often surprises yourself and others with your depth of understanding. So it's kind of like it's kind of like physics. Like there's some people that just won't get physics, but yet when someone is explaining physics to this person that doesn't understand, it's kind of like a big old bomb goes off and it clears everything out. And it's all of a sudden it's like, I actually get that. And so that's one of the ways of how the clear understanding happens, is because we often tend to want to download some stuff, but we don't understand the topic or the subject. But our spirit guides are here to kind of clear that path and say, here you go, let's do this. So I like it. And I'm sorry I'm a little bit like low energy tonight. Like I said, like my allergies are just kicking my butt and I am exhausted, even though I got lots of sleep. But this is what my allergies do. They just zap my energy, and it's sometimes, and these are one of those days where it takes all of my energy just to keep moving forward right now, and that's where I'm at right now. So if you're saying, oh, he's a little bit off tonight, I am, and it's not on purpose. It's just because my allergies are very severe, and they do affect my energy like no tomorrow. In fact, I could probably talk on a whole topic about how my allergies, how I suffer with allergies, but I'm not going to bore you, even though, whatever. So, oh, Kathy has a comment. I once was getting ready in the morning and it suddenly smelled like my grandfather's house from years ago. Then with the next breath, it was gone, blew me away. That's an intuitive connection with the smell of clarifaction and clairsentient. So your grandfather was probably just passing by, wanting to say hi to you, and but didn't really necessarily have a message for you, but just was popping in and saying hi. So yeah. There's also clear cognition, and that is basically what it says. It's clear recognition. And so this is similar to claircognizance, but it focuses more on the ability to reorganize the truth or the essence of a situation or person immediately. Some of these indicators are you often have an immediate sense of whether someone or something is genuine, accurate, or significant without needing proof or explanation. And um, this was when I was a kid. This I was at church with my grandma, and I think I might have been 8 or 9 maybe, and it was Easter, and the minister was giving the Easter sermon, and he was talking about. Now I'm not saying that he's a liar. He's just reading from the book, but he was talking about how Jesus was crucified, put on the cross. Most people know this story, and I'm like, no, he wasn't. I was just saying it to myself. No, he wasn't. That wasn't how it happened. And I just knew that that really wasn't the story. But we often know that, with a lot of faith-based religions, it's there for the people that need it. And I have nothing really against any religion. But old writings are meant for control and to tell specific stories to keep people aligned. So that's my stance on that. And I'm sure more people have had other experience or other situations where it's like, you're just bold-faced, fat out lying to me. And you just know it, even though they're smiling and they're trying to be convincing, you just know that they're not being truthful and they're not being genuine. And, in this stage of my life, if I'm feeling that from someone, I walk away. I don't even excuse myself. I just remove myself because I don't have time for bullshit. And I've cut a few out of my life in the last 4 years. And I am so glad that I woke up and no longer was willing to take what they were trying to sell me. I was done drinking their Kool-Aid. So, and I'm sure other people have had similar situations, because if you've had a reading with me this year, or even just at the end of last year, you're going to notice that there's a huge theme. Even if you didn't have a reading with me, but you'll notice it in your life. There's a huge universal theme going on right now about setting boundaries. And we are at a point where we are no longer willing to accept things that draw us down, make us try to be negative, or even just try not to live in our truth or in our light. Boundaries are so essential right now. And if you are struggling with help trying to set a boundary, I suggest that you get a reading with me, or you've tuned into someone that can help show you how to set a boundary for the situation that you're in, because we are coming into a very huge time of living our authentic truth. And if we have bullshit anywhere around us, it's going to stand out like a sore thumb, and it has to be removed regardless. So please, 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 if you're not feeling authentic, or if you're not feeling authentic about a situation or a person or an event, please set a healthy boundary so it offers you the benefit and not the other person the benefit, because you're not living their life, you're living your life. So that is a little bit of a tangent, because I love going on little tangents, but it needs to be said, because boundaries are like 2024, and it's going to continue until 2025, because that's when the truth starts to infiltrate with the boundary. And that's when people that aren't living in their truth and integrity, there's going to be lots of exposures. And you're starting to see that already, especially in the politics in the South, in the States, where they're living truth. And it's very much about being able to enjoy life, level up to the next stage. A lot of life lessons for people that have enlightenment around them. Their heavy life lessons are done. And they're very much more about diving into their passions and their truth and their integrity and living simply. Use the KISS method, keep it super simple. And that's how people want to. But in order for them to use the KISS method, they have to remove the toxicity. And so that's going to be something important for everyone to be dealing with about setting boundaries. And Angela says, love this, Lewis. You taught me how to set a healthy boundary and it works. Absolutely. I love it when people walk away from a reading with me and go, I know what I need to do and I'm going to do it. And then they proceed to move forward and do what they have to do to contribute to the reading. Because just because I say something, it doesn't mean it's just going to fall in your lap. Unless I tell you it's going to fall in your lap. The intention behind a reading is to prepare you with the tools that you will need to actually use to move forward in life. So Judy asks the questions. How do you get across to someone who is backstabber but hugs you in front of the minister at church? You don't. You disengage. That's how you get your point across, because what they'll likely do is they'll compensate on some level and try to enforce their friendliness on you to get that photo op opportunity so that they can say, look, I'm not the problem. I'm good. Look at Judy loves me still. Disengage. You don't have to have an apology. You don't have to write a Dear John note. You just simply need to say, I'm worth more than what you're willing to offer, and I don't give change. And know your worth, and let them have whatever relationship they want to have with the minister at church or whatever, but you don't need to even engage in the hug. In fact, if you know they're coming in for a hug, remove yourself. Don't stand there. Don't accept the hug, because that gives them the satisfaction. And so therefore they will conduct something in their head that says, hey, I'm not a problem. Look at, she received my hug, because you're being polite. But your politeness is actually encouraging them to continue the ways that they choose to live, which is unhealthy for you. Might be not for them, and that's good for them. But for you, remove yourself from the situation entirely. If you see that person sitting on that side of the pews, go to the other side. No harm, no foul. Be cordial if you want to be cordial, but keep it super simple. Hi, how are you? And before they even answer, you're already still walking because you don't care how they are. That's how you grow, because you're not meant to teach them that what they're doing is wrong. You're meant to live your authentic life and focus on how to bring that forward. So, I love this. I walk away, but she follows me. You know why she's following you? Because she knows you're onto her. And she needs to have this setting in front of the congregation that she's not the bad person. She's not I'm just going to put my notes aside because you know what? This is way more interesting to me. And she's not, and she wants to be able to pull you back into the web so that she can continue backstabbing. So keep walking, let her follow you as long as she wants. She can go dry in the mouth. I don't give a crap. Keep walking. Don't engage. Don't turn around. Don't make eye contact. Just make sure that your energy is putting off to her. Don't come near me. If that's a glare, give her a glare. If that's a body posture, give it to her. But she at first she's going to try to, take down the fence, and that's fine. But the more that you stay in your truth, she's going to get the hint. She'll stop, and she'll stop. She'll just stop because she knows she's not going to win. So good luck, Judy. We have those people in our lives, unfortunately. Red Rovers says that totally agrees. I was raised Catholic, and the beliefs that were instilled from a young age was so intense, literally throwing the fear of God into me. And that's what it was meant for. It's to men line up. I don't know if every elementary school is like this, but in our elementary school, when it was recess time and before we were to go in back into the school to resume classes, we would all have to line up single file for order, so that no one was just walking in the halls or just trying to go wherever they need to go. It had to be in order because it was a form of control. And that's unfortunately what some books that prophesizes the love, but it's not really about love, it's about control. Because in my opinion, just me personally speaking, my God does not hate. My God does not put measurement on someone's ability or how much you donate. My God does not love you less or more. This is an all-inclusive God that I truly believe in. And we can call it spirit, we can call it universal energy, whatever you want to call it. But my God would never write anything that would say basically to hell with you. So Trish says as well, after my reading with you, I had walked away from my toxic sister and my life is so much happier. Thanks for that. I am leading a much happier life. Well, thank you, Trish, for offering that feedback. I don't always hear what happens to things after a reading, and that's fine because we all have our life. But I do love it when someone gives feedback and they're like, it worked, I'm happier, or this happened, and and I really just truly am blessed to be a small part of anyone's life that I had a reading with. So I truly, truly, truly love it. Oh, Mariella, yes. I was raised in a Christian cult. Boy, did they teach me how to stand for myself and set people. Oh, no doubt. You stopped drinking their Kool-Aid. And because of that, you were probably ostracized, first of all. But that was because you weren't willing to conform and do what they want you to do. And I'm so proud of you, Mariella. I'm so happy for you to be able to stand in your truth and walk your walk and talk your talk. So thank you for sharing that with us. Let's see, what time is it? Oh my gosh, it's yeah, okay. So I'm just going to open this up to anything right now. So if you have any questions about anything, let me know. Cleo's purring beside me. She's all happy. I'm happy. My eyes kill me, but that's okay. I'll get through it. So ask away about anything. And tonight's topic, we had a few more to do, but that's okay. Oh, you know what? I'm going to go over really quickly about how you can tune into that. Be more specific, Joanna. I have a bunch of people here. So where is it? Here it is. Sorry. All right. So just a little bit of how to determine if you have these abilities, self-reflection, and awareness. So keep a journal of your experiences, noting any instances or intuitive insights, dreams, sensations, or unexplained phenomena. And then you can also pay attention to recurring patterns and validate them by seeing if they come true or match real life events. So this isn't necessarily this, but just to give you an idea of what that means is, like, for example, when I'm doing a reading and I'm working in my mediumship, that when I feel energy on my left shoulder, that is the male side of the family for who I'm reading with. Or if it's on the right-hand side, then it is the female side of the family that is connecting with me. If they are looking directly at me, the spirit, that means that they are family. If they're looking past me, like almost like past my ear, that means that the person knows of the person but is not related. So those are things that I've tapped into and have found that have always been accurate for me. So tap into the things of repetition that you have so that you can see where what awareness you have for this. And then there's also, I'll get to you in a second, Christina. There's also the meditation and mindfulness that you can do. So practice regular meditation to heighten your awareness or subtle sensations and insight. This can help you differentiate between regular thoughts and psychic impressions. There's also testing and validation. Engage in exercises to test your abilities. such as guessing who is calling before looking at your phone or predicting outcomes of simple events. I've been doing that since I was 4. I remember walking by a phone saying, "Oh, Grandpa's calling," and then I walk away, and 2 seconds later, Grandpa would call. I'd also be, "Oh, people are going to be popping over for dinner. We should make more, or we should set the table for extra." And sure enough, someone would drop in unexpected. So stuff like that. That and recognize that, journal it. Like, today I thought about this and this came true, or 2 weeks ago I thought about something and it happened today, kind of thing. So keep keep like keep validating the experiences that you're having or witnessing, because it's going to help you tune into how the messages need to come to you so that you receive them properly. There's also just trusting and confidence with it. Like, trust your intuition and don't dismiss any experiences as mere coincidence. Confidence in your abilities will grow, and practice validation. So yeah. uh Mary, so if you go to my website to book a reading, Mariella, then you will be able to see my up-to-date time, lewismabee.com, and when my next available session is. I'm really, really busy. So, but I think there's a few spots next week, depending on your next week or the week after, depending on your availability. Okay. Yeah. Should I go to Mexico in June, Marianne? Marianne, as long as you're healing, like, there's a lot of healing energy around you. So who doesn't want to go on vacation? But I'd rather have you sacrifice a vacation so that you continue focusing on your healing more. Okay? Very, very important. Very, very important, Marianne. I can't stress that enough. Christina, is my baby going to be okay? Yes. Yes, this is a little bit more like a hiccup, unfortunately, but it does feel like that your baby is stronger than we know, and is going to be able to pull out of it. It's not going to be overnight, but it does feel, though, that this baby has a lot of life to live on Earth. So your baby's not leaving us. So, and I feel like the testing going on, there might be a little bit of confusion with testing, but this is about trusting your gut and not just going off of what the medical system has. I feel like you should be looking for alternative ways as well, not just, but as well, so that you can get a broader scope of what you're dealing with to get the best plan of action moving forward for the well-being of your baby. So, Sarah, whenever someone really bad is going to happen, I either get a feeling that won't go away until the event occurs, and then it completely clears. Yep. And then the night before a horrific accident, I closed my eyes for a second at night while laying down, and I saw an accident. Color of a car. The car I wasn't right about. It was a horse trailer, but I was right about the color. I knew something bad was going to happen, but not to whom. What is this called when this happens? So this one is, it goes into the psychic realm, and not the intuition realm. But it's mainly the claircognizance, the clear knowing. So you had the right setup. Yeah, you might have got a vehicle wrong, but you had the right setup. You had the clear understanding and knowing of what was happening before it happened. You also might have picked up on a little bit of the emotion behind the accident. It sometimes happens with being able to tune in to see if everyone's going to be okay, even though the accident needs to happen. But it has to also have to do with like that sense of this seeing, like the clairvoyance as well. And I think, yes, right, Dawn. Like, so you're working with like similar senses, but it's your knowing. What I liked about it is because you saw it kind of like clear as day kind of thing. So Dawn also says something about other than boundaries, and the truth is coming out. Is there another theme for the balance of 2024? Yeah. So one of the other themes that I've been picking up with through my readings is that it's kind of like a contradictory of how it begins, but then it makes more sense as someone decides to take it on. Is they're looking at more experiences. They're looking at getting out more. They're looking at connecting with people, even though we've been trained through COVID that to isolate, and we felt great in our isolation bubble, and some of us still do, but there is going to be a theme about coming together and growing together. And again, you're finding your tribe. So that's why you got to cut out the bullshit, people, is because you're finding your tribe. And because you're finding your tribe, you have commonalities. You're having the common sense of where you want to go, not as only as an individual, but as well as being able to have your tribe focus on that whole thing around this is where we want to be. This is where I want to be. And it matches up. So that's another huge theme that's actually going to be kind of like more noticeable come November and December of this year, and then stretching into 2025, where it's going to be all about community, but the right kind of community for you. So you're very welcome, Marianne. And please focus on your healing. Joanne says, is my mom's kidney okay, or will my mom be okay? I'm not quite sure about the kidneys. It feels like it's in stress, like more stress than typical. And I feel like they're going to have to do some sort of surgery to see if they can either cut something or block something, because it seems to me like there's something that's seeping. Your mom's a tough cookie though, Joanne. Like, but this is going to take the wind out of her sail for a bit. But I do feel like there's a refresh. So yeah. Sarah says, thank you. Thank you, Sarah. Kathleen, will my husband find work near our new home soon, or will he remain at his current job, working hours away and staying down there during his shift? It's been 9 months of him staying here part-time. If he can pull out the summer, I feel like the fall of this year is going to bring new workings towards his career field. And so I feel like it kind of like when it rains, it pours. And I feel like he could be shuffling a few job offers that will bring him closer to home. And he will just have to kind of pick the one that he feels more in tune with. And that's key. Feels more in tune with. It's not going to be all about money. I know we need money, especially in this time of day, but this is going to be something about, for your husband, Kathleen, is about work-life balance. And that's going to be very, very key. In fact, I think you might be a little bit behind that as well, with making sure that he taps into work-life balance. So this is an amazing question. Hi, Lewis. Do people with dementia that don't know me when I visit her do an around about way now? Unfortunately, no. So if I'm understanding your question properly, so here's the thing with people that suffer with dementia and Alzheimer's. They might be in their total darkness and they're still living and they're still breathing and they don't recognize you from Adam. But and this is another tie that's cut. They may not remember who you are, but your energy is familiar to them. They may not be able to react to that because they don't know what they're reading off of the energy. So if you have someone like your mother who is living with dementia, please go in there happy. Please go in there being authentically you. Because even though she may not be able to recall you or remember you, she is going to feel and sense you. And that's going to be like huge for you. And just before she passes, when it's time for her to pass, she will have complete clarity again and she'll say goodbye to everyone. That's how they often do it, is that there's a split second of complete clarity. And before they leave us, they just have like this big burst of energy of like love, and that's to all of their loved ones. So I don't just keep your spirit up, and just know that your love for her is shining through. So yeah. You're very welcome, Joanne. And she is a tough cookie. Her energy is like, get out of my way. I'm going to do this. So, will Trump go to jail? The jury is deliberating. I don't think he's going to go to jail. I do think, though, that he will be stopped on some level. So, to be honest, and I don't know if this will actually happen because there's two factors involved with this. He's not done with charges. And I don't mean the known charges now. It's kind of like OJ. OJ got acquitted, but yet they've got another charge 5-6 years down the road, whatever, that got him in jail. That's something like what's going to happen to Trump if he lives that long. Just saying, he's not a healthy man. Well, even looking at him, he's not healthy, but he's not healthy. He's faking it till he makes it, but he's still a fake. So, Kathy, I've set so many boundaries that I don't have many people left. Good. Do you see me finding my tribe, or do I enjoy my solitude too much? Well, you do enjoy your solitude way too much. And I do encourage you to get out so you can find your tribe. And the best way to do that is finding something that you love to do. So if you love to read books, join a book club. If you love to fly a kite, join a kite flying class. You're going to find those people there. And so that's your first step. And then get comfortable with saying yes again, because we got so comfortable with saying no, don't want to do that. No, it's not in, it's not in the cards tonight, whatever. Just start saying yes to you, to grow and embrace. But your tribe is not going to be tens of thousands. Your tribe is probably going to be 4 or 5, but that's going to fill your cup up, and that's all you want and require. So thank you very much, Judy. Thank you for joining us again, like always. And as well as Kathleen, you're very welcome. Angela makes sense about dementia. That is awesome. Thank you very much. And Trish also says thank you. Thank you, everyone. I'm Lewis Mabee. And thank you for tuning in. I'm glad that I went off script and started talking about boundaries, because I don't like making notes, because I just feel like, ugh. So when I'm able to just talk freely, and that's what I'm going to start trying to do, is just talk whatever comes out of my mouth. So join me next time. I hope to be here next week again. I have a very busy schedule, like I said, so sometimes it's hard to get on Wednesdays, but I'm trying to make time. So you're very welcome, Christina. Don't worry, your baby's gonna be fine. Tammy, there's so many Tammys. I love this. Tammy says, thank you, Lewis. Have a great night. You too. If you want to book a reading with me, you can go to lewismabee.com, LEWIS MABEE.com, and then you can see my schedule. My web guy and I just did a little bit of rejig to make it even easier. So let me know how that turns out. And you can also follow me, please, on Instagram, TikTok, and X. with Lewis Mabee. And then Facebook, you can find me on Lewis Mabee Spiritual. Like I said, I am Lewis Mabee. I am very blessed and honored that you allowed me into your life for this hour and a bit. And I will see you all next week. Bye for now and blessings.